Hello everyone, my name is Asyrafchazz and welcome back to yet another One Piece card game video. In this video, we will be going over every single card from the Kaido starter deck, the purple one. I've been copy pasting the effects from the Discord onto the video, but this time I want to give a special shout out to NAMI Piece TCG. They have a Facebook page that posts like illustrations and graphics based on the card reveals. They have the artwork of the card as well as the card effects. So I'll be using their page as kind of like my resource today, just so it saves me a little bit of time making this video. But shout out to them, they are doing awesome work, so go like their Facebook page, links in the description below, and tell them I sent y'all. We're going to talk about the Kaido deck and just my general thoughts on some of them because we have a lot of new cards from the Kaido deck. And I think it's very synergistic, just like the Luffy deck, but I feel like with the Kaido deck, if you have your pieces early to kind of accelerate your dawn, you're in for a good time. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving a like and subscribing if you can, because every time you subscribe to this channel, Queen gets a little bit more funky. Alright, without further ado, let's take a look at the cards. Alright, so once again, shout out to NAMI Piece TCG for these awesome, amazing graphics. They really do a good job at it. It's very clear. You get the leader card, have the artwork of the card, and then you have the information on the right side of it. So go follow them on Facebook. They upload like really fast. So if you don't want to wait for my videos, it's fine. Go and follow them and get your information as fast as you can from them. So let's talk about Kaido. So Kaido is a purple colored identity leader card with 5000 power, part of the 4 Emperors and Beast Pirates. That's his traits. He has 5 life and his main ability is Dawn -7 once per turn. Destroy one of your opponent's life, or like put one of your opponent's life to the trash. So we've already talked about Kaido, but just to kind of talk about him a little bit more, the great thing about Kaido's ability is it's definitely a late game centric ability. You want to kind of either flood the board or control the board, and then once you're going in for the kill, you use Kaido's ability, return 7 Dawn cards back to the Dawn deck, and just trash one of your opponent's life. The important thing is, like, when you destroy one of your opponent's life, any triggered effects will not be activated. It will not go into the opponent's hand. It will just go straight into the trash, which is great because you don't want to be running into opponents like event cards that could be triggered from the life. So Kaido is definitely a very good finisher. Alright, so this is the next card. We already seen the ulti card from way back during the initial reveals during the preliminary event. So ulti is a 4 cost 5000 power, the striker attribute. She has counter plus 2000, part of the Beast Pirates, and when played Dawn -1, you may play up to 1 cost 4 or lower page 1 card from your hand. And we have page 1 reveal as well, even though he's just a vanilla, but we'll talk about him later on. Next up, we have the character card for Kaido. So Kaido is 9 cost 10,000 power, the striker attribute, part of the 4 Emperors and the Kingdom Pirates. His ability is on play Dawn -5. You can KO one of your opponent's cost 7 or lower character, then this character gains rush during this turn. This is an amazing finisher card. Like, if you're, I mean, 9 cost is really high. This is definitely a late game kind of card, but if you can play Kaido and return 5 Dawn back to the deck just to kind of destroy one of your opponent's powerful character cards or even a blocker, then he gains rush with 10,000 power. You don't even need to put some active Dawn to him. 10,000 is a really good stat line. Your opponent really needs a lot of counter or event cards to kind of defend against the attack. And I really like this Kaido card. 9 cost is definitely the deterrent for casting this card early, but with all the acceleration that we have in the deck, I think 9 is a number that is feasible to get to. It's a really good top end, and I really like the artwork they showed on this card as well. Alright, next up we have King. We also talked about King earlier on as he was revealed quite early. He is 6 cost 7000 power with a special attribute, part of the Beast Pirates, and on play Dawn -1, KO up to 1 cost 4 or lower enemy character. This card is great. It's removal on a stick. If you want to know, if you want to hear more about my thoughts on him, I have a video. The card is in the top right hand corner of the video, so check it out over there. But I think King is definitely a really great card. 6 costs, it's not as high as 9 but it's definitely a really good card to have. It's a removal on the body, so definitely very good. Next up we have Queen. Queen is 5 cost 6000 power, the striker attribute with counter 1000, and it's a blocker, and on play Dawn -1, draw 2 and discard 1 card from your hand. This is great card advantage or card filtering, and it's a great body to have on the field to kind of block against your opponent's attack. 6,000 is a decent stat line, even and you can always like use counter cards to increase its power. I think Queen is solid. I already talked about Queen in a separate video, so if you want to check it out, link is on the top right card. Alright, next up we have Sasaki, another one of the Tobi Roppo. Sasaki is 3 cost, 4,000 power with the shooter attribute. Sasaki has 1 counter plus 1,000, and his ability is on play Dawn -1, returning 1 Dawn card back to the Dawn deck. You can draw 1 card. Solid card. I mean, it replaces itself with at the cost of returning 1 Dawn back to the deck. Any effect that draws you additional card for like a control type deck is definitely really good. So Sasaki, I love it. I mean, it's decent. 4,000, yeah, you can always pump it up with active Dawn, so it's not like the worst thing in the world. And at 3 costs, you can definitely drop this down on like turn 2, so you can get some early card advantage that way. Alright, next up we have a Sheepshead. Sheepshead is a vanilla 2 cost, 4,000 power with a slasher attribute. Part of the Animal Kingdom Pirates and have these smile traits as well. So that's interesting to take note of. Maybe if we ever have like Caesar Clown as a leader that kind of plays into this whole smile mechanic, could be. And he has 1 counter 1,000. 2 drop 4,000, similar to like VV. It's decent. That's all I can say. Alright, next up we have Jack himself. Now Jack is a 3 cost, 4,000 power with the striker attribute. Jack has counter 1,000, and on play you may discard 1 card from your hand, reveal 1 Dawn from your deck and put it into your cost area in active mode. This is exactly what the Kaido deck needs. This is for every control archetype. You need some sort of like Dawn acceleration. You want to ramp as fast as you can, and this is like the perfect way to do it. Sure, you are discarding 1 card from your hand to do that effect, but I still think that having more Dawn in your cost area would lead to more explosive plays, because a lot of the Kaido starter decks card are very high costed. So you definitely want to get there to that high number, maybe like 6 or 7 as fast as you can. And Jack really fills in that requirement as well. 3 cost, 4,000 power. 4,000, yeah, kind of low for that cost, but still decently powered level. You can always put some active Dawns to it. But after you play Jack, it already has done its job. And I think sacrificing 1 card from your hand for an extra Dawn in active mode, by the way, is definitely very good. So I think it's a really great card to have in the Kaido deck because it fits the strategy perfectly. And yeah, Jack is awesome. Alright, next up we have Jin Rami. I hope I'm saying that correctly. 1 cost, 3,000 power with the striker attribute with counter 1,000. Also part of the Animal Kingdom Pirates with the smile attribute as well. So just a basic vanilla, similar to kind of like Karoo. This is the Karoo of the deck. And yeah, I think in a pinch you can play Jin Rami early and try to get early attacks that way, but most likely, more often than not, you're gonna be using this character card as the counter. Alright, next up we have Who's Who. Now Who's Who is a 3 cost, 3,000 power with a slasher attribute, part of the Animal Kingdom Pirates, and his on play ability is Dawn -1. Okay, I'm reading this translation of the Discord now. Dawn -1, KO up to one of your opponent's cost 3 or lower characters. I mean, it's good removal for like the early aggression. If you have Who's Who early and you can pop off like a Sanji or a Jinbei on the opponent's side of the field if they're playing the Straw Hat Crew starter deck, and at the cost of only returning 1 Dawn back to the deck. And he also has a triggered ability, which is you may play this card. So if your opponent attacks into your life and you reveal Who's Who and you can play it, you can immediately activate his on play effect, and you can kind of disrupt your opponent's. Maybe your opponent is swinging in for lethal and he has just like 1 attacker left that's not the leader, and he hits into a Who's Who and you can remove that last attacker and basically save your life. So I think Who's Who is a very good card. I would put 4 of this in the deck if I could. So if you're thinking about picking up the Kaido starter deck and you're planning to get 2 of it, because you only get 2 of Who's Who in the starter deck, definitely pick up another one so you can get a full playset of 4 and put all 4 of them in the deck. I think this card is really good. Maybe I'm over-evaluating it, but the trigger ability, man, is just really awesome, and it's removal on a stick as well. Of course, you can't target anything that's higher, 3 costs or higher, but anything lower than that and it's perfectly fine. Next up we have another one of the Tobi Roppo, Black Maria, 2 cost, 2,000 power, with counter plus 1000, and it's a blocker. I hope that we get more Black Maria. This is a good card for a blocker. I mean, 2 cost 2000. It's decent, and all it needs to do is just block and sacrifice itself to save your life, essentially. But I feel like it's kind of underwhelming for her character. I hope that we get another Black Maria card, maybe in the main set or maybe in future sets, because I really like Black Maria as a character, and they really have to show like the sheer scale of Black Maria. If you guys are not caught up in the manga, she's huge, essentially. Alright, next up we have the page 1 card that works in tandem with the ulti card we saw earlier. So page 1 is a 4 cost, 6000 power with the striker attribute with counter 1000, and it's a vanilla. Honestly, if you can get page 1 out for free via ulti's ability, this is good. I mean, like 6000 power and an additional body on the field just because you played ulti is fantastic. But any other time, it's still kind of decent. I mean, it's a decent vanilla, but the value that you get from playing ulti into page 1 is just really good. And 6000 is a great stat line because you don't need to attach any Dawn to page 1 to attack it to your opponent's leader or your character cards, but you should if you want to play around, like, you know, counters and event cards. But still, I think it's decent, and in a pinch you can always use it as a counter. Alright, next up we have X-Drake. X-Drake is 3 cost, 5000 power with this. I believe it's the slasher attribute because it's blue, so maybe I'll have to reach out to NAMI TCG for the correction. And his traits is Marines and Animal Kingdom Pirates. So technically, he's the first Marine that we've seen from the first set, or at least from the starter decks. Just to remind everyone again, the Marine starter deck is going to come out, I think, September, and then the next set is focusing on Marineford, which will have a lot of Marines, and that's going to be out in October. And X-Drake has counter 1000. Just a plain vanilla using the manga artwork. I feel like we will get another X-Drake card in the future for sure. We just have to wait and see. Alright, next card is the All-Star Disaster, which is an event card, 4 cost, Animal Kingdom Pirates traits. And the main effect is draw a card, then reveal 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and put it into the cost area in active mode. That's cool. I think this is a very good effect, but you are playing like 4 cost, so it's like 4 cost, draw a card, ram 1 essentially. I feel like it's even better when it's triggered from your life because it does have a trigger ability, activate its main effect. But if you're playing it on your turn, if you got nothing else going on and you want to like draw a card, I mean, it replaces itself and it ramps you, so it's decent. I wish it was slightly lower costed, but then again, you can play this on like turn 2 if you're going second, so not an issue at all. But the value that you get from it being triggered from your life, definitely even better. Alright, next up we have the 6 cost event card, which is called Brachio Bomber. This is the removal for this deck. Brachio Bomber is a 6 cost event card with the Animal Kingdom Pirates trait. Its ability is main KO up to one of your opponent's cost 6 or lower characters, then reveal 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and put it into the cost area in the active mode. And the trigger ability is different. It's reveal 1 Dawn from your deck and put it into the active mode. 6 cost is a little bit high, but of course this deck is all about ramping up and playing big costed card. 6 cost or lower, it literally affects every single card in the Luffy starter deck. But the trigger ability is also kind of good because it ramps you. But I feel like you would want to save this card for removal in case you need it, even though it's high cost at 6. I still think the Straw Hat Luffy event card, Gomu Gomu no Jet Pistol, is the slightly better card, but still it's decent in this deck for sure. Alright, next up we have Bolo Breath or Blast Breath, which is the 1 cost event card. We saw this like very early on. Counter so you can only use this during the counter phase. Dawn -1 up to one of your characters or leader gains 4000 power for this battle. I think this is a decent card if you want to use it in a pinch to save your leader or your character cards from being destroyed by your opponent's character cards or your opponent's attacks. I'm curious to see what everyone thinks about this because I have a lot of people saying mixed feelings, but I think in a pinch it does work well, but you still need to sacrifice like one of the Dawns and return it back to the deck for the full effect. So take it as you're sacrificing an additional Dawn back to the deck for an additional 1000 power if you're comparing it directly to Guard Point, for example. And last but not least, this is the stage card of the Kaido starter deck, which is Onigashima. 3 costs, and part of the Animal Kingdom Pirates, and the ability is activate main. You may rest this card if your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates trait. Add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck to the cost area in rest mode. I love this card. To me, Onigashima may not seem like much, but it is without a doubt one of the strongest cards in this deck, because if you get Onigashima out on like turn on your second turn, so even if you go first, even if you go second, you'll have 3 or 4 Dawn in your cost area respectively. You play Onigashima first and you're set. You can straight away start ramping up and resting it to get 1 Dawn in your cost area every single turn. This is good. Okay, like for 1000 Sunny that we've seen from the Straw Hat Crew starter deck, I think it's okay. It's decent for a starter deck, that's for sure. And I wouldn't want to put like a 4-off in the deck, but for Onigashima, you want to see this in your opening hand if you can. So definitely have to put like a playset of this. I think, in my opinion, let me know what you guys think, if I'm wrong or if you have any thoughts on this matter, because I really feel like you should get a playset of Onigashima and put it into your deck, and if you don't draw it in your opening hand, a mulligan until you find Onigashima. So there you go. Okay, so they're giving you I just noticed this, but they're giving you 4 Onigashima cards right off the bat, so hell yeah, that's actually really good. So if you want to pick up this Kaido starter deck, be sure to get 2 off, because then you get access to like 4 kings, 4 queens, and especially like a jack, which I think is very good. Even Who's Who is really good as well. So if you want to get your full play sets, you have to pick up 2 of the starter decks for sure. And there you have it, folks, the rundown of the Kaido starter decks. Once again, thank you to NAMI TCG for the amazing graphics. It really makes my life a little bit easier, so thank you once again for posting that on your Facebook page. If you guys have not followed them, please go and follow them. They even have like cards that have been revealed on the day itself, and they already have the translations and the graphics on their Facebook page, so definitely check them out. Go and follow them if you guys have not. And yeah, let me know if you're picking up the Kaido starter deck. I think the Kaido starter deck fits someone who loves the kind of control playstyle. You want to like mitigate the board, control it, prevent your opponent from attacking into you by removing their characters, and then once you're ready, use Kaido leader ability to destroy one of your opponent's life and then just start attacking for the win. So let me know in the comments below if you are picking up the Kaido starter deck, or if you are interested in getting the Luffy one instead, or if you're gonna get, or if you're like me and you're gonna get all of them so you can play every single one of the starter decks. But that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you watched this video, please go and like NAMI TCG. They are awesome folks, and I'm glad like the community is so wide and expansive. Like it's on Discord, it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter. I love every single one of the people in this community. But until the next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye.